In this video, we're going to go over what a topical cluster is and how that relates to becoming a topical authority. So in a previous video, we went over what a cluster is, or a keyword cluster. As a quick refresher, it's where a group of similar keywords have been grouped together that forms a page of content. So all these keywords are slightly different, but mean the same thing and can be clustered together and targeted on the same page. A cluster is a group of similar keywords that have been grouped together and can be targeted on the same page. So that is a cluster. We've gone through it before. A topical cluster is where groups of similar keyword clusters can be grouped together. So it's a cluster of your clusters, so to speak, as I've put here. So it's where these clusters are, and I've said it again here, they're distinct enough to need their own page, but similar enough that they should be linked to one another. So this might be a keyword cluster. So these keywords might all be to do with how to choose the perfect dog toy. And these keywords might be how to clean your dog toy. And these keywords might be how to play with your dog. So they're all pretty similar. They're to do with playing and dogs and toys, but they're all different. They have a slightly different meaning. This is how to choose it, how to buy it. This is how to clean it. And this is just fundamentally how to play with your dog. Now, these pages should all be basically linked to one another because they're topically the same. So in this guide here, or you might have a really big guide here, this might be the ultimate guide to playing with your dog. And in this big guide, we talk about everything from playing to your dog, to choosing your dog toy, to cleaning your dog toys, all very briefly, all in little paragraphs, but it links out to a dedicated article on each. And each one of these articles in turn link to one another. So on how to choose your dog toy, you're talking about it and you'll say the best way to play with your dog, and that might be some anchor text. So if you don't know what anchor text is, I will quickly show you. So anchor text is where there's a link to another page on your site that has an anchor text explaining what it is. So on this Wikipedia page, which is the king of anchor text because it's just a massive site, and that's why this ranks for everything. On Wikipedia, like if I click on training, in theory, this should lead me to a page about dog training. It does, which is topically related to animal training, which leads me to another page. So coming back to here, each one of these pages will be linking to another similar one. So these are topical clusters. All of these clusters, these keyword clusters, are to do fundamentally with playing with dogs and probably dog toys, cleaning dog toys, what to do with dog toys, and yeah, just playing with dogs in general. If it wasn't already becoming clear, becoming a topical authority means that ensuring your website covers all your topic clusters in a given niche. So let's say this is a travel website. We might have city guides as a topic. And within city guides, we might have the ultimate guide to Birmingham, the ultimate guide to London, the ultimate guide to Liverpool. And then each one of these, you could actually see, you could break into some further topics. So the ultimate guide to Birmingham might have best restaurants in Birmingham as one guide, best bars in Birmingham as another guide, best things to see in London as another, Birmingham as another guide. And each one of them would link to itself, and each one of these would link back to this ultimate guide to Birmingham. And in Birmingham, this guide might actually link to your London one or your Birmingham one. And so all of these guides are linking together and forming this really powerful topic cluster. Similarly, this travel website also has traveling tips. So traveling around Peru, traveling around Australia, and then it might be how to get currency, might be its own separate guide, and how to speak this language might be its own separate guide. And all of these interlinking with each other, and again, linking to these other guides here. And so this travel website will have multiple topics. So it's got city guides, it's got traveling tips, it might have packing tips, it might have loads of other things related to traveling. And becoming a topic authority means building up your keyword clusters, interlinking all those similar clusters into your topics. So this is a topical cluster, and then interlinking all your topical clusters to become a topical authority. Now, Wikipedia is a really good example because actually they're a topical authority on everything, but you can see how if you could analyze all of Wikipedia's site in one and you could crawl it all, you could very easily start to pull apart and see where the topics are. So I've just gone down this dog toy example. Now I'm on animal training, and this is all to do with animals. You can see now I'm on biological kingdom. So this is to do with animals. This is all still animals. I'm still in animals, genus, species. I'm still in that topic of animals. Now I can come out of it and it starts to link to maybe another whole topic, which might be scientific names. And now I'm still in animals here, but you can see here our common names. Great. So now I'm in a separate, oh no, still to do with animals. Okay. There'll be maybe a link somewhere. Let's say it mentioned Charles Darwin here. Yeah. So Greek. So now I'm into a different topic. So you can see that topics don't need to stay linked solely to itself. You don't need to silo it, but you can link out. So in Wikipedia's case, they've now linked to Greek language. Now I'm going to go down and go into a language hole. And so I'm in that whole topic realm. Now, your site is not going to be as big as Wikipedia. So all your topics will be a little more, I guess, connected than Wikipedia's are. But you'll still have very distinct topics. And the key here is that there's a lot of interlinking happening between your very similar guides. But the odd one can then link out to another topic cluster, just to get Google going that way. And this is like what it looks like visualized in a very basic diagram. It's just all this interconnected topics and pieces and content, and becoming a topical authority, as I've said here, is great. It's often far easier to do this than link building, which can be very expensive. I mean, actually, becoming a topical authority does require a lot of content production, but as we'll go through later on in this course, we can come up with a way of scaling that. Building good links is always difficult. Good links, I'm going to caveat, and there's people who do it fantastic, but it's time consuming, but it's also expensive. Building good content and a lot of content can be time consuming, but we'll go through how to scale that later. But becoming that authority is fantastic because, as we said in an earlier video, Google views your site as a corpus of documents. And I'm very wary of been jumping around different examples. I use dogs and then I use Wikipedia. So coming back to a very original example we did on one of our earlier videos, if Trip, which sells suitcases, wanted to become a topical authority, they're obviously going to have to cover all the pages of the things they sell. So they sell soft cabin cases, so they have a page for that. They sell hard cabin cases, so they have a page for that. That makes sense. But to become a topical authority, they need to start talking about other things to do with travel, to do with luggage. And the great place to do that is often your blog. By the way, I do hate the word blog. I've got a bit of a vendetta against that word. That's one for another day. But you'll see in Trip's blog, they have all this related content, exploring UK beaches, airport security tips, why soft shell suitcases. So they have all this related content, and hopefully, and I haven't seen it, but hopefully if I'm scanning through that, they have internal links. Okay, so that one is going to, you can see down here, that one's going to a product page, but they should be internally linking to maybe some of their other blogs, which they are not. So they could do a much better job. Well, I've just looked at one guide here, so take this with a pinch of salt, but they could do a much better job of interconnecting all their guides like Wikipedia do, jumping from link to link so that it makes it really easy for search engines to crawl and understand the relationship between these topics. And as I said at a very beginning video when we were talking about what topical authority is, basically, once we start doing this, it has this sort of rising tide effect and we end up ranking well for everything. So the more you build up your topics around this, the better you'll start ranking for your products as well, especially with all these internal links going to those product pages as well. So coming back to the very original point, this is what a topical cluster is, and this is how it relates to becoming a topical authority. And so to sum up what we have learned in the last 3 videos, you've got at the very end of the scale, you've got keyword clusters, and that's where groups of keywords are targeted together on the same page. A load of those keyword clusters, related keyword clusters formed together, make a topical cluster. So you could have a whole topic cluster on dog toys. And then to become a topical authority, you need to work out all of the topic clusters that you need to basically become a topical authority. Now, that is a very big task and it's often ongoing. It's not done overnight. For example, a travel website, to become the most topical authority or the highest topical authority, it's not really a word or something that you can really measure, but it's this case of consistently producing content related to travel, building up your topic clusters, all of which combine to make you a topical authority on travel or on pets or on dog toys if you wanted. And depending on how niche your website is or your business, that becoming a topical authority might be really broad. In the case of Wikipedia, it's almost infinitely broad. It's on everything. But on the case, if you were just a shop that sold dog toys, then your topical authority that you need to have is going to be a lot less. You're probably just going to stick content around dogs in general. But if you sell pet toys, it starts to become bigger, and your topic to become a topical authority, you might need loads of clusters and topics around all pets, cats, dogs, fish, all of that. And so you've really got to understand what your niche is, and basically start looking at your competitors to work out the type of content you need to really become a topical authority. And it's stuff we'll go through in the rest of this course and the rest of my videos, is how we can start becoming a topical authority and methods for doing that.